Drama in Washington as the August 2nd budget deadline nears. President Obama and top lawmakers are now working to come up with some kind of budget deal to raise the country's debt limit. Fox News correspondent Doug McElway has details.
Democrats say the debt ceiling talks fell apart because Republicans refused to increase taxes on the wealthy.
We have 9.2% unemployment. Their prescription is to raise taxes? I mean, my goodness, who thinks that's, the president didn't think that was a good idea in December. Why do they think it's a good idea now?
Republicans pointed to the Democrats' intransigence, refusing to make any concessions on Medicare and Social Security. It left both parties dug in, with Sunday night talks slated to take place at the White House tonight.
I certainly see a pathway forward if we can get out of the paradigm we are in right now. If you notice what's been said, we're in the age-old battle of should we raise taxes on the rich or should we cut spending that helps the poor? And those politics work really well, but it doesn't work well for a solution.
Despite last night's breakdown, the White House was said to be sticking to the ambitious goal of $4 trillion in cuts over 10 years.
The president is still very committed to solving this deficit problem for the future of America. He's looking forward to the meeting tonight to lay out once again his case.
But the past may signal the difficult future ahead. The Gang of Six talks reportedly broke down over tax hikes, just as did the talks headed by Vice President Joe Biden. Yet key Democrats were hinting at more of the same today.
The American public gets it that there has to be shared sacrifice. The American public gets it that there are some folks, millionaires, who haven't been paying their fair share. No pain, no gain.
So the debt ceiling talks are back where they started. Tonight's bipartisan gathering at the White House slated for 6 p.m., the debt ceiling clock ticking closer and closer to an August 2nd deadline. In Washington, Doug McElway, Fox News.
And here to make some sense of the deficit stalemate and jobs crisis is Gene Marks of the Marks Group and columnist for the New York Times and Forbes. Hey, Gene.
Hey, Joyce. How are you?
All right, I'm doing well, but will taxpayers be feeling some pain in some form no matter what kind of plan Washington agrees to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of the information that we're getting right now is from a lot of closed-door sessions, so there's a lot of economists online that are thinking which way they're going to do. Bottom line is, yes, taxpayers are going to be feeling some kind of pain. I mean, these are politicians, and they're going to have to compromise on something. So what kind of pain? Well, the Bush tax cuts, which went through last December, they're definitely up for grabs, Joyce. A lot of corporations are going to be looking at having kind of tax loopholes taken away from them. There are also some deductions that we might see going away or being raised the bar a little bit. So the answer is yes, there is going to be some type of tax increases, whether it's by higher rates or, decreased deductions. So
what about Social Security and Medicare? What about those?
Everything like that is on the table. And when you're talking about health care, just like the report that was said before, I think the American people know that there is going to have to be some type of sacrifice that's going to be given to balance this budget. I think our politicians know that too. The good news out of all of this, Joyce, I know that the deadline is coming up on August 2nd, but everybody in Washington is talking about this right now. It is the #1 issue, and we're all watching to make sure that they make the right decisions.
All right, let's talk jobs. Bad news last week. Can't be very encouraging for somebody gearing up to hit the bricks tomorrow searching for work, right?
Oh my God, it was a lousy week last year. The fact that we're coming out of a recovery and the unemployment rate goes up to 9.2% is just, no one was expecting that. But there's two kind of interesting points that came out last week, a couple data points you might find interesting. One is Monster.com. They have their online employment index that comes up. That's actually up, their online jobs. And Gallup has a poll that they do every month called the Job Creation Index. Their Job Creation Index, which basically is employers looking for people, is the highest level that it's ever been since before the recession in 2008. So what does that mean? It means that some employers are out there looking for people right now. Why do we have high unemployment? Well, people are kind of holding back on what we're going to spend, and also this skill set needs to be there. So I talked to a lot of employers, and they say, look, we would spend on some people if it was somebody more than just an entry-level person. Do you follow
But still, there's a lot of, I'm sorry, Gene, there's a lot of fear over this whole deficit fight and the jobs report, and those people who have jobs and some money to spend, what are they doing?
Yeah, we're going to find that out this week. There's a couple of interesting polls that are going to be coming out this week that should be of interest to you. Like #1, the consumer confidence poll from the University of Michigan is coming out the very end of this week. Retail sales are also coming out on Tuesday as well. We're expecting them to be flat, but if some of those numbers are positive, that might give the indication that consumers are out there and spending, and maybe some businesses might want to loosen their own purse strings and hire some people. So watch what happens this week.
All right, let's look forward to that and hope it's good news. Gene Marks, thanks so much for coming in. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, Joyce. Take care.
Okay, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge wrap up their busy weekend in Southern California. The two attended a